any diamond that you see set in any piece of jewelry anywhere in the world, it's 99% it will be cut in India. Maharashtra government gave roughly about 25 acres to a Gem Jewellery Export Promotion Council just to set up jewelry factories. Well, the infrastructure projects which are coming up in Bombay are going to be a great springboard. It will bring our costs down, and the minute the industry turns, I think it's going to be great for the city of Bombay.
Welcome to our brand new podcast series where we will be diving into stories that shape industries and the people behind them. Today, we will be talking all things diamonds. Joining us today is a seasoned diamond merchant who has been in the business since 1916, and he will be sharing insights on how this diamond industry is adapting to change. Welcome, Anoop Mehta ji, President, Bharat Diamond Bourse. Sir, to start off, can you give us an overview of the current state of the diamond business in Mumbai?
Welcome to Bharat Diamond Bourse. And as you know, the present industry is going through a little slowdown. However, we feel that over the next couple of years, the efficiencies and all will improve. And as world economies start improving with the reduction in interest rates, so will the diamond exports pick up. We are happy that we are situated right in the heart of Bombay, and I'm sure that while you were coming over here, you could see all those huge infrastructure projects which are coming up. Looking into the future, it's going to be the very best location that one can be in Bombay.
So, sir, can you give us an overview of how has the business environment evolved in the last couple of years?
So we first used to operate from Opera House, the whole diamond business. And in 2010, we moved to Bharat Diamond Bourse in Bandra Kurla complex. At that time, there was nobody around here. And as you can see in these last 15 years, there's not a square inch of place available. All the headquarters of most of the banks are situated here. You have world-class convention center. You have got everything over schools. You have the bullet train, which is also going to start, which is going to be just across the road from us. And it suits us very much. And because, as you know, the diamond trade is connected with Gujarat, where all the cutting and polishing happens in Surat. So it will be very, very convenient for our traders as well as our manufacturers to keep going, shuttling between Surat and Bombay. You've also seen that the metro projects are coming up, which is going to be fantastic because we have a footfall of roughly 45,000 people coming into the bourse. Majority, 90% of them are people who work over here, from accountants to assorters to other ancillary services.
So, you mentioned about 45 to 50,000 people coming into this every single day. Where are these people exactly coming from? All across Bombay? So how do they commute?
So the majority of them, what our estimate says that 80% of them are coming from North Bombay. So they'll be, with the metro starting, it'll be a boon for them, where present it takes them about 90 minutes to commute, which will be cut down into less than half. And more than anything else, it's the metros. As we know, the metro services are air-conditioned, and we are going to have a station which is right outside of the complex. In fact, we are extending the platform where we've got the permission, and the people working in Bharat Diamond Bourse will come straight into the complex. So it's going to be extremely convenient. This sort of infrastructure, you get once in a lifetime that cities get such transformation. The coastal road which is coming up, you have a new Bombay, you have a new airport coming up, you have the bullet train over here. So with all these things, by 2025 end or 26 end, it'll be a state-of-art city where commuting, the biggest problem which is there today, will no longer be a problem.
Since you mentioned about all the infrastructure projects that have recently opened and have been under development in the last couple of months, what about the special notified zones? I believe those as well will be instrumental in driving the growth of the diamond industry.
Yeah, so we have a special SEEPS, which is the electronic processing zone just at Andheri, where we have a lot of diamond factories. And The best part is that the underground connectivity, which the PM just opened 2 weeks ago. So we have a station which is 100 yards away from this complex, and all our jewelry factories are in Seeps, and the station is right outside Seeps. So what today takes, when goods have to be taken to Seeps, so people coming from Seeps over here would normally take about 45 minutes to 1 hour. They can be here in 20 minutes. So this sort of infrastructure normally helps the business in ways people don't see at present. But over a period of time, it adds value. Efficiencies improve.
Yes. Sir, since you also just a couple of minutes ago, you spoke about Surat. So I would want to talk about, since Mumbai has traditionally been a hub for the diamond trade, but Surat is also dominating the cutting and polishing market. So when we talk about this market, how do you see this competition really? And what are the key things you can tell us about this?
Historically, Surat and Bombay for the diamond trade, they've been like twin cities. They've literally been like twins, because the efficiencies and the connectivity of international connectivity, which is there because of the airport being in Bombay, the exports are happening from Bombay, the assortments happening in Bombay, the clients and the buyers who come internationally, they come in Bombay, and the finance is happening from Bombay, because Bombay is the financial capital. However, always it has been that the manufacturing happens in Surat. Yes, it is today even spread over to various other places like Bhavnagar and Navsari, but still Surat is the strongest point for manufacturing. And we have both been working and complementing each other rather than competing with each other. This is a classic industry where both complement each other.
All right. Sir, so since you talk about both industry in both the cities complementing each other, can you tell us about the rise of Surat as a diamond processing hub and its impact on the industry here? Like, how do you see this impact?
So I know that you basically think that there's a competition, but it's healthy competition. So in our industry, there's always been healthy competition. We have always new players coming in, but it's been healthy. And that's how this diamond business, which never existed in India, has grown over the last 40 years. So you first had Antwerp, which was the major cutting and polishing center. It then went to Israel. And from Israel, it's come to India. And nobody could have done it better. If there was no competition, we wouldn't have been able to achieve this. So today, 14 out of 15 diamonds are cut in India, even though we don't have any raw material. So basically, any diamond that you see set in any piece of jewelry anywhere in the world, it's 99%, it will be cut in India.
So since you spoke about the diamonds that are cut in India, that while coming here to your office, I saw a number of offices outside where it was written lab-grown diamonds. And that reminded me of Prime Minister Modi when he went to the US. He gifted Jill Biden a lab-grown diamond. So can you tell us about how lab-grown diamonds are different from your traditional diamonds, and how exactly is this entire, because everybody has a dream of wearing diamonds.
So this is what we believe, that the Indian population being the largest in the world, and as we know that everybody in India normally is, even the poorest of poor would invest small amounts in gold. So today they will at least have the chance of procuring a diamond. It could be a lab-grown, because there's a huge price difference between the two. So lab-grown diamonds have found their own niche. And since we have already got people who are Indians are fond of jewelry, so all of them buy gold jewelry at some point of the other. So by adding a few percent extra to that, if they can stud it and make it glittering, there's nothing like it. So the aspirations of the new generation at the lower level, which is there, the numbers itself will make it into a huge market for India.
So how does the quality really differ? Like, our viewers will want to know, like, what is the difference between a lab-grown diamond and affordability of it, the price point, like, how does it make it?
So it's a different category. So it's a fraction of the cost of a natural diamond, the lab-grown diamond. Availability is as much as you want. It's not rare, and it's grown in a lab at the end of the day. Whereas the natural diamond is takes millions of years, and you cannot find too many of them around. So as we go through a couple of decades, fewer rough diamonds are being found because it is still only available in a certain quantity. And to take it out of the ground is very expensive and very difficult. So we believe that always for special occasions and for the long term, for special investments, natural diamonds have their own place. Similar things had happened in various other stones. When you look at rubies, you had synthetic rubies. You look at emeralds, you had synthetic emeralds. You look at pearls, you had synthetic pearls. So both are flourishing today. And these three examples which I've given you, it did have some impact in the beginning because the consumer does definitely get confused. But in the long term, both find their own place because they are different price points.
So, sir, since price point is the thing, but the government is supporting lab-grown diamonds under its Make in India initiative. So there is a government push this time for the lab-grown diamonds. So do you see, is it going to impact the traditional markets, or do you still see people using both?
So the reason the government did it, there was nothing wrong in that because the original lab-grown, they were doing them in China. And they wanted that industry also to be part of India. And that was the reason. So what the government did 4 or 5 years ago, they've been successful at it because today India is the largest producer of lab-grown diamonds. Previously, we used to import that rough. Unfortunately, the government can't do the same in natural diamonds because for that you need to mine. And India has a few mines, but they may not be commercially viable. So it was a great thing that they did. They've set up a whole new industry, and especially at a time like today when natural diamonds are a little slow. So there are no job losses at the cutting place because they're cutting lab grown. It's very good because both these will be running side by side and complementing in the future. They'll be complementing each other.
Sir, what kind of what is the number of jobs that you see in the near future, the lab grown diamond industry, when it grows? What kind of job opportunities will people have?
The biggest impact that it will have is on the Indian jewelry market. So at present, although India world-renowned for its jewelry, but when it comes to exports, it's not so much. India exports only 25% of the US jewelry market, and it doesn't export hardly anything to Europe or the rest of the world.
Why is that?
That's because we don't have. Whenever we are designing, we're designing more for the Orient and for the Indian thing. So with lab grown, we have seen that it will internationalize jewelry. What it has done to diamonds, like we have 14 out of 15 diamonds are cut and polished here. I think it's achievable that more than 70% of jewelry made worldwide would be made in India in the next decade because we know how to handle gold, and it's just a matter of policy and time that this will come through. It's the design which the government has put up a lot of new design centers. We have a new center out in SEEPS also. And as we move forward, there are a lot more youngsters coming into the jewelry end. And India will be setting trends. In a decade's time, India will be setting trends of jewelry. What today, those trends are being set by Italy or various other centers. It will slowly come to India because the raw materials are available here. And if you look at anything which is creative, normally people who are the creative, they go to the place where raw materials are available so they can work on them and then produce new designs.
Sir, so we spoke about designing, we spoke about the availability of raw materials, the infrastructure overall because we know Bombay is a port city. So with the kind of changes that have taken place, the development that has taken place, how do you see this entire supply chain improve such that our trade opportunities can increase?
The government has got its eye on jewelry, and therefore the Maharashtra government gave roughly about 25 acres to a Gem Jewellery Export Promotion Council just to set up jewelry factories. That zone, which is in New Bombay, which is just across, as you know, again over there, 3-4 new bridges are coming up. There's going to be metro connectivity over there also. All this infrastructure normally starts giving returns after a period of 5 to 10 years. 25 acres from where you'll be all jewelry. It's a full jewelry park. So you can have your factories there, you can have your offices there. Anything to do with jewelry, just as Bharat Diamond Bourse is for diamond, that's going to be for jewelry. And a lot of the big producers of jewelry have shown interest to move here because then they are also closer to the supply source, as well as the international airport, which is going to be in Panvel, as well as Mumbai. So the main focus is jewelry, of course, for the local market, but even for exports. There's interest being shown by some international jewelry manufacturers also to set up the back end over here. And you will see that in the next 5 years, once the complex is ready, that you will see a huge jump in jewelry exports from India.
All right. Sir, so let me ask you a question here. Prime Minister Modi, he has given a lot of, there is a certain push from his side for making in India and developing our industries and improving trade and various sectors, and jewelry is one of them. So at a policy level, what kind of changes have you seen? Because you have been in the business for so long. Any changes that you can compare in the last couple of years to what the policy was like before?
So one of the biggest changes happened this time. So finally, they've heard that duty on gold has been reduced, although it's done marginally, but it's a step in the right direction. And given over a period of time, we hope that they will bring it down and fine-tune it to bring it closer to the international market, so that when the raw material cost is low, people can then use it for various designing things. Otherwise, when it is expensive, then price consciousness comes in, because a piece of jewelry is always made within a price point. And every few percent that's added onto it, it translates into more expensive for the consumer. And free movement of gold, because that's where the main jewelry is important. And it's a great step in the right direction. And we can see that they are looking that the next decade is going to be a jewelry export decade.
So you think the steps have been taken in the right direction?
Absolutely.
Okay. Sir, talking about how the industry has bounced back, it reminded me of the COVID period. During the pandemic, all the industries across the world, supply chains were massively hit. Do you think the diamond industry here in Mumbai has been able to bounce back? And what is how has it panned out in the last 2-3 years?
So we had the first couple of years immediately after COVID, where the industry bounced back in a terrific way, which we've never seen before. And at the same time, as the world went into a recession, as interest rates went up, things started slowing. You've seen that most international economies are very slow, and that has had an impact on natural diamonds. Now that we see that the reverse is happening, where interest rates are now on the way down, inflation is also under control. 25 onwards, we believe that the diamond industry has hit a bottom and will now slowly start moving up.
I'll want to take your final points on how do you see the future of the diamond industry evolving, and especially with respect to Mumbai and Maharashtra.
Well, the infrastructure projects which are coming up in Bombay are going to be a great springboard. So it will bring our costs down, and the minute the industry turns, I think is going to be great for the city of Bombay.
All right. So thank you so much. Mr. Anoop Mehta joined us for a very insightful discussion today. Thank you so much for being with us.
Pleasure. Thank you also.
Thank you.